Hi, hello, welcome to another video and welcome to another training chit chat. We got some snow today. We had snow last week and then it melted, and now we got a little bit of snow which melted right after it stopped snowing, but it got snow and it's almost December, so I decided I can start my winter content now. So you probably saw I had my winter intro and my winter outro, and I want to start early with it, but I let my Instagram followers vote on if I should start like over a week ago with the winter intro, and they were like, no, keep the green for a while. So I did listen to, I was about to say you guys, but maybe you don't follow me on Instagram, which, you know, little shout out. I'm Kaiser Dragonroad there too. It's also linked in the description. Go follow me there if you want. And also, like, you know, I let you guys vote on stuff every now and then. So I'm like, yeah, it's dark, it's cold, it was raining and snowing at the same time. It was horrible and I'm very tired, and I made myself a cup of hot cocoa with way too many mini marshmallows. That's a lie, you can't have too many. With the perfect amount of mini marshmallows, and I'm like, you know, we're gonna do a little training chit chat. Which actually, I just realized something. Okay, so this is going to be a training chit chat, and we're just gonna talk about like anything and everything. This is gonna be one of those random training chit chats where I don't have a theme. I don't think. Maybe there is a theme because I end up talking about just one thing, but it isn't planned. Like last week's training chit chat, which was about accessibility in Star Stable, that was planned, and I had like notes to try and keep me on track, which, you know, I varying success on that. But I haven't checked this out yet. We have the filter and sort. So these are the old ones. These are the ones we've had since 2017. The name, level, mood, breed, and generation. Okay, that's not from 2017. But it is not new, I don't think, for this week. And then we have the filters, so we can have horses equipped with stuff, and then we can do ignore horseshoes. And now we have all my horses with halters and my retro fjord, which probably never gonna get trained. Or if Starship is like, we're gonna shut down the servers, then she gets trained. But yeah, so we can like, I have 4 pages of horses with halters. That makes sense, because only Gen 3 horses get halters. And they still get an order of being bought, or if a horse I'm training that's Gen 3 earns a ribbon, then they get a halter. I just want to look. We also have shoe specific breed. Ooh, this is gonna be so useful. Appaloosa 1.5. I have both of them. I'm pretty sure Cinderstone is Richard. I don't know why. And then it's Siri, which is like Cyry, which is a name I come up with when I was like 14. Now Gen 2. Are there only 2? Okay, well. I have Winterway, which is a play on Milky Way, because in Swedish the Milky Way is called Vintergatan, which means Winter Way, or Winter Road. So that is our galaxy. And then we have Korla, or Koala, because that's the closest name we had in game, but it's Korla. So change this first A to an R, and then you have Korla, because she looks like a cow, and kor is cows in Swedish. And then, yeah, so she's Korla, which is also Cola is what we call caramel, as well as Coca-Cola. So, but then you add an R to it, and that's the fun with our name. Also a name I came up with when I was like 14. Gen 3. Yeah, there we have them. We have Selene, Morgan, Peach, and Wonderland. Okay. Show magical horses. Ooh. So I have 4 full pages of magical... no, 3 full and 1 like half full. That is all the magical horses we have in game. All the way from the Nixies in 2016, all the way to the latest Halloween horses. Which I don't know where they are. But we have Erwin, Artemis, Hemera, Bejeweled, Birkir. We have Ben, Audra, Bluetooth, Karsha, Sherish, Kryfel, Derek, Demonica. We have Disney. This is Draken, which means the dragon. This is dragonfish, because this type of fish in Swedish is called drakfisk, which means dragonfish, or translates to dragonfish if you translate it literally. Then we have Dreamcatcher, Calliope. We have Ormbunke, which is fern leaf in Swedish. Flameheart. We have Giga. We have Ginger Snap, Goldspark. This is Owl. We have Holly, Roart. We have Jane, because the other dragon horse, the green one, it was a TV show. I think it's from... I don't know where it's from, but it is translated into Swedish. And I think the original language is English, but a lot of countries speak English, so it doesn't tell me where it's from. But it's called Jane and the Dragon, so they're Jane and Dragon. Bella came up with those names, so I kind of stole those. This is Lila. We have Lightning. This is Lightya. This is Lullaby. Magic Lily Midnight. This is Cinderella. This is Oliver, because when this horse came out, I was obsessed with the CW Arrow TV show. And no, I was not old enough to watch that. Because I was like 14 or 15, and that show is 16 plus. I never finished watching that. Then we have, obviously, Alvira, we have Anthea, we have my Gallop Thompson horse, the original one. We have Nightlight, Nyx, Night Sky. We have... this horse is technically called Poseidon, but I'm considering renaming him Percy, because Ocean Hero is more Percy Jackson than Poseidon, but I hadn't read the Percy Jackson books yet when I bought this horse, when it came out. They have Ocean Mother, because of like the legend behind Sedna. Rainbow Light is obviously Prisma, or Prism, that, that's what a prism does. We have Ragna, we have, also based on like the lore of the horse, Rainbow Wisdom, Reindeer. This is Nilis. Don't ask how Rainkeeper becomes Nilis, I don't know. We have, Munin, and then Hugin, which are the 2 ravens of Odin in Norse mythology, because it's a raven horse. I know this is not a raven, but they are both ravens in my head. So it's Hugin and Munin, and Munin means memory, and Hugin means thought. So they're thought and memory, or Hugin and Munin. We have Monarch, we have Sanes, Silverblood, Solis, Laverna, obviously, Sparkling. Why is Spellrun the wrong color? Okay, I don't actually have them to deal with that. We have Ronja, we have Zeus, we have Terra, we have Vapiti, Astraios, Bore, because in Swedish, like fairy tales and folklores, there is like winter is brought about by the king of winter, who is called Bore, and he's the one who comes and brings frost and winter and cold to the land, and so this is Winter King, or Bore. Wyvern Blood, and then we have Yule Goat. So those are my magical horses. We were not supposed to go through all my magical horses, but we did. You can hide magical horses. Horses with a special movement. Or special... Okay, so this is special gait. Ooh. That's gonna be nice. And then with a special trick. So this is a special animation. Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is great. I 10 out of 10. Could have been happy with just that last update. Honestly, I am. Can't make a full video on it. This went kind of fast. Kind of fast. But I just wanna, like, you know, it gets dark so early now when, you know, it's winter. I live in Sweden, if you didn't know. It's getting darker and darker, and I mean, at this point it doesn't matter if I pull down my blinds or not at night, because it's already dark. It's like pitch dark. It doesn't get darker just because I pull down my blinds, and it's still dark when you wake up in the morning. So like, there's no light to wake me up in the morning either. I will just forget to pull down my blinds some evenings. Did not do that when I lived in the city, because there were street lights outside my window, and also people, and I thought that was creepy, so I didn't want that. But so I did pull my blinds and like my curtains shut when I lived in an apartment in the middle of the city, but I don't. I live in the countryside, which is where I grew up. So there's forest outside my window, and sometimes deer. But like when it's dark in my room, the deer can't see me either. So it's like, Oh, I was not supposed to go to Hollywoods. I'm just doing my routine. I'm running there to trade lights. But Melody is level 14. So we are going to finish training her in this video. Wait, I just want to move my microphone a little bit, because I feel like it's so out of the way today. But it's kind of... But my mic arm is hitting this side of the screen. Have I moved the screen a lot around recently? I can't remember. Oh yeah, I did. But it was this weekend when I cleaned. I moved it so I can clean behind it. And also the arm, because it's on a screen arm. But we're going to do Marley's races. So yeah, I just want to talk about a little bit of anything and everything, and, you know, hang out while you train your horses. I can train my horses, or maybe you're not even training your horses. I used to, when I was little when I was 13, 14, 15 in school, well, at 15 I did have Spotify, but I didn't have Spotify until I was 15, because my parents don't care to pay for stuff like that, and neither do I have mentioned this before. I am on Bella, my best friend's parents' Spotify Premium family plan. So if Spotify asks, I am living with my best friend's parents and have been since I was 15, and they don't need to know more than that. That is my address, I promise. But I didn't have Spotify, and we were allowed to like listen. We had laptops in school. It's actually when I started playing Star Stable, and I started playing Star Stable on my school laptop. It couldn't run Star Stable for long because it was a very crappy laptop. But that's where I started playing Star Stable on, and we were allowed to sometimes listen to like music and stuff in class. But I would either listen to music on YouTube, or I would put on videos of people training their horses and answering like questions, just talking, and have it on a low volume and listen to while I was like doing stuff like math and stuff in class. Like my teachers didn't know if it was that I was listening to or if I was listening to, you know, music. They couldn't tell because we were, you know, on our school laptops. So we could only like, you know, access stuff that was allowed, and YouTube was allowed. And they'd rather we used like our school laptops than our... But I do remember listening to it in math, and I kind of do need a little bit of background noise a lot of time to be able to focus. It's sometimes when I get very focused I need it to be quiet, but usually I just need a little bit of background noise to function. So it was great. I would just have a very low volume. I would listen to people like Hail Rainstorm, train her horses. So yeah, maybe I don't know what you are doing. If you feel comfortable, tell me what you usually do when you watch my. Like, are you just watching me run around training my horse? Because I don't really watch videos like that. I put them on in the background as I'm training or as I'm like cleaning my room. I used to watch them when I was doing the dishes. When in my apartment, I didn't have a dishwasher there. I only had a kitchen sink, so I did all my dishes by hand. Now there's a dishwasher in the kitchen, so I don't have to do that anymore. But I used to do all my dishes by hand, and then I would often also just have those videos because I don't really need to look on the screen. I could keep my eyes on like the dishes and stuff, but I still had something to, you know, keep me entertained. So yeah, if you feel comfortable, tell me in a comment, you know, just pause the video or don't pause it if you don't care, or don't care if you don't want to, but you know, leave me a little comment. What are you, like, not just my videos, but you know, training videos overall if you watch them, which I would guess you do if you're watching this. Like, what are you doing when you watch videos like that? Like, are you training your horses? That's my most common one. But I used to watch in the car when I was little, when like my dad would drive me to school, or in the car home from school. I obviously don't watch YouTube videos in the car now. I'm driving myself. But when I was a kid, I usually did that. So yeah, like, what is your like go-to activity for videos like this? Because I usually just listen to these videos. And not, I don't watch them. I might have them like in like a little corner of the screen. I only have one screen, or only. So many people I know have more than one screen. I mean, it is Black Friday. On the day I release this, it is Black Friday. Actually, I was about it's Black Friday week, but for you, it might actually be Black Friday when you're watching this. I just... I'm sorry, is that the Winter Village music? No, I don't think it is. It just sounded like it. I had a moment of like... That's why I got quiet, by the way, because I'm listening to music. It's like I could have sworn that was the Winter Village music. And I mean, we're not getting snow next week, which is in December. So like the snow is gonna come like the 10th of December, which... It's not the first year we get very late December, but I think it's the first year where we have the first... In a while, with the first update in... December isn't the Winter Village or the Winter event. I can't, but I do know I've had like other times when it's like the 1st of December is a Thursday, so then we didn't get, you know, the winter event until the following Wednesday, so that would have been what, the 7th or something. And I just want to calm people. Obviously, I don't know. I don't work for Star Stable, but based on previous experience with the kind of like calendar with gifts under the tree, in game, that previous years, like that year when it was on the like a week into December where we got it, we still got gifts for those first 7 days that had been. The first 7 days of December that had been before the update. It was just like on the Wednesday when we got the update, we could enter the village and there were already 7 gifts under the tree. So if they're still gonna do the gifts thing, which I hope, and this year I hope it's not bugged, because I still have last year's glasses, which if you don't know, if you've been watching my channel and you're like, why are there always a pair of blue sunglasses in her bag? It's because this was the last, or one of the last, I think, gifts we got last year, and these glasses are also sold in Jarlaheim. So I would assume these have been in game since 2013. They have at least been here since 2015 when I started playing. So they have been here for quite a while. And I don't think they meant to give us those, and I should probably have emailed them in like January and asked them, because it feels kind of late to do it now, but also kind of should I just email Star City and be like, hey, last year during the winter event, one of the gifts we got was a pair of sunglasses that are identical, both name and description and appearance, of a pair of sunglasses that have been sold in Jarlheim since I started playing the game back in 2015. Were these really the ones you meant to give us? And I feel like maybe I should do it before they release the Winter Village, because they're probably going to be sold there then. So like I feel like this may be the last chance if you want to get, because like sometimes they will restore stuff, but I feel like, but also it's one of the things like, oh yeah, but like if they meant to restore, they probably would have done it by now. But also if everyone thought that they would just notice and then no one told them, maybe they didn't notice. Or maybe they did meant to. Like I then we can make a video about that. My first video trash talking starts. No, I wouldn't ever trash talk them. I have respect for the devs. I just don't always agree with what they do, and there's so much negativity on the internet already. I don't have energy for that. I see so many people on the internet now like, I'm a professional hater, like it's so like people are hating because it's fun, or like being negative because it's fun. And as the most negative person I know, I have never met a person more negative than myself, I fear. It's just like I don't know if you're doing it properly, because like if you mean like to be super negative, like these people are really negative, like they will be super negative about stuff on the internet, or like they'll be like, I'll read something purely because I'm gonna hate it and I'm gonna like spew on it on the internet. And I'm like, okay, like if that brings you joy, sure, fine, like not my cup of tea. But it's also like, if you're truly hating on something and being negative, like that is so exhausting. Like I'm not happy in trying and staying positive because I'm a positive person. I'm a very negative person. The fact that I try to be a happy and positive person is a choice. I am actively trying here. It's not always easy, because I am so emotionally drained all the time, because being negative and tired and like angry all the time is just so draining. But I am. So like if anyone's like, oh, you're too positive, like it's a choice. Okay? Those people choose to be negative. I choose to be positive. As best as I can. I'm not gonna be like, oh, this is great about something I don't like, but I'm not gonna be like, this is the worst thing ever and Star Stable ruins everything and me. Have I been like that in the past? Yeah, when I was like 16, 15 and I was a child who was, you know, immature the way children are. But like I'm not anymore. And maybe those people on the internet, you don't always know, especially when it's in a platform where like it's just text, or like when people, or if someone's not showing their face, it's just writing. You can't tell how old a person is a lot of the time, you know. So maybe they are young people. Maybe these are young people who they haven't gotten to the age yet where I am, where you're tired all the time because like you can't be negative. So yeah, maybe that's a thing. I don't know. But I'm choosing to, I don't have to like everything, but I'm choosing to not be super negative just because I can, because it's so draining for me, for the people watching. It's also a little, I have mentioned this before, it is also a little bit of cheat sheet online to have negativity, because it's fun fact. Psychologically, we as humans, we build an emotional bond to people which we perceive we have a common enemy with faster than people where we share something positive. So if you have a common interest with someone, you're gonna start build an emotional bond, even if it's just someone you're watching on the internet. Our brain can't tell the difference between real people, fictional characters, people we know in real life, and people who we just like observe on the internet. Our brain isn't designed to do that. So when we get emotions about people even if we don't know them, and we logically know we don't know them. The emotions we feel, like, this is called parasocial behavior, but like we feel those emotions because our brain isn't built to the idea of like there's people on like sometimes like the other side of the planet, and we know what they like because they're talking about it, we're listening to them talk, and our brain is gonna like process that as if it's a person we know personally. Like our brain can't tell the difference between... Sorry, someone was speaking very loudly outside my door. It's like people can't read signs, because I have a sign that says like, I'm recording, please be quiet, and don't disturb, like do not disturb recording session, please be quiet. So that, and I also usually tell people, since I do live with other people. But sometimes I swear to God, people are illiterate, and I'm saying that as someone with dyslexia. These are my relatives, though. They're my family. I mean, the dyslexia came from somewhere. Neither of my parents are diagnosed, however. So off topic. I can't remember where we were. We were talking about like negativity and the like, yeah. So our brain can't tell the difference because it isn't designed to do that. But so that means like when we see someone on the internet talking about stuff, and our brain processes that as if it's a person we know in real life, or that we're meeting in real life and like listening to. And then so obviously we're gonna build an emotional bond to that person. And if you have something or someone where you share something like positive, like a shared interest, like obviously if you're watching my channel you probably like horses, or at the very least you like Star Stable Online, or you know, you will probably like Star Stable Online, you might like horses or other video games as well. So you know, me sitting here talking, there's gonna build an emotional bond slowly, even though you don't know me in real life. Except Bella, I know you're watching this, you do know me in real life, and you probably know me better than most other people on the planet, which is scary. Well, it's not scary. It would be scary if anybody else was anybody else, but for some inexplicable reason, my music is so loud. There. For some inexplicable reason, I trust Bella. She's one of the biggest pranksters I know, but I trust her. But yeah, so like, there's gonna be an emotional bond building, and when we perceive that someone has a common enemy, like someone being very negative about something that we also feel negatively about, that's gonna build an emotional connection much faster. So there are a lot of people, I'm not saying everyone who ever has said anything negative on the internet is doing this, but if you can tell when someone, like, pretty much all the content they ever do is super negative, like unless like paid to say something else or whatever, but like if someone never has anything good to say, and like they're only spewing out how things are bad, me, like I'm gonna start like looking at it, it's like, okay, you're just caring about the numbers, because this is the fastest way on the internet to build a following, because, you know, destroying emotional connection from people feeling like, oh, we have this shared enemy. That's like how we psychologically work. And this goes not just for video game circles, but so many different areas. So yeah, it's also that, like, and I don't want to be that. Then, like, I don't think Star Stable is doing everything perfectly. I am considering, and I haven't said this anywhere else, because I had a thought a couple of nights ago. Like, as someone who studied game design, which, what game design is differs a little bit on, like, what area of the world you're in, but here in Sweden, and, like, most of Europe, I would say, and also, like, the US, game design is, to, like, create the player experience, like gameplay, but also like navigating menus, making a UI like this around the screen, or like the HUD Is that what it's called? I can't remember. I'm not the best at all the terminology. Yeah, it's the HUD, right? Yeah, the HUD is like all these things around the screen while you're playing, but then like if you open the menu, this is a UI. The HUD is also a UI, but it's a specific UI that's around the screen giving the player important information as they're playing. Well, if I open like the settings menu, this is still a UI. This is still a UI. Ooh, why did I do that? Was it? No, it was there. Right. I hope that's correct. I mean, I didn't... The player is not the most important one. Ooh, a plant. But, yeah. It's, where do we want to go, actually? I'm gonna call home. But like, so different parts. That could also be like the visual parts. That's an artist, and you can obviously, you know, artists can also be really good at knowing what works in a UI. Obviously, like, but it's more like the layout of like we need, you know, we want the map. Where should the map be so it's easy to see, but also so you know, it isn't in the way, and where I can see my horse level and stuff like that, but it isn't in the way. And then an artist is gonna have other information of like what colors are gonna be good to use, both for like the aesthetic of the game, but also for like what looks good with each other, what will it be too similar so you can't tell the difference between certain things, or and stuff like that. So obviously making a game is in most cases, you know, teamwork. It takes a lot of people with a lot of different skills working together to create the wonderful product we all have in front of us and are playing. But I would say I'm more of a gameplay designer, and I've talked about this before, but I am actually primarily, I have experience being a combat designer, even though I don't play very combat heavy games as like my day-to-day games. I have played games with combat, both because I think it can be fun in, you know, it can be therapeutic to go into a game with violence and getting all your aggression out, but also just because like getting experience with it as a game designer. But yeah, game designers often will work, or not just game designers, but like devs in general will work with the type of games that they don't generally play themselves, because if you work with the thing that is your hobby, then your hobby will become work, and then you will never like relax, because even when you're at home trying to, you know, have hobby time, you will get, you'll think about work. So it's not good to have the, especially not the game you're playing be the game you work with, but also having games that are similar. So it's very common for people like me that don't play games with like a lot of combat to maybe be like a combat designer, because like it's an area of a game I still think is interesting to work with, but it isn't the type of game I'm gonna play to relax, to have fun. Oh, and we finished training Melody, so I'm gonna, I have a project to try and train 100 horses this year, and after Halloween I realized I had trained 60 horses, so I had 40 horses left to go, and I started making calculations how many horses I needed, or not how many horses, but how often I need to finish training a horse to meet that goal. And I also have a little chart with, it has 40 little squares in it, boxes, and I get to color them in with a highlighter whenever I finish training a horse. So this is horse 17 of 40 of the ones I need to meet my 100 horses in 2025 goal. But that was not what we were talking about. We were talking about video games. I'm thinking about, but it's gonna take a while. It's probably gonna take a couple of months for me to make this video. And potentially I'm gonna do like a little like survey. We're gonna see. I'm gonna start with my research. But what I'm gonna do is I want to look at Star Stable from like a game design perspective. I'm gonna find which the next horse is after the video. I don't want to. I need to pull up a document of like which is the next horse I'm gonna train, and I don't want to do that in the video. But what I'm getting at is that I want to make a video looking at Star Stable, because Star Stable have a lot of things that are very common in game design, as like basics of game design. I feel like we don't have that in Star Stable anymore. We used to have more of it in the past. We have some newer elements, but they're still like 2 years old right now. Yeah. Hollywoods was 2 years ago now, right? Yeah, it was November of 2023, I'm pretty sure. So I just want to look at Star Stable from a game design perspective and like what is it lacking and maybe how I would fix it. Like ideas. Which is very exciting for me because I did talk at the beginning of summer when I dropped out because of my health, how I, for like the last year, hadn't been able to be creative about video games because I was burned out. And I've mentioned how like I've started to like every now and then have like game design-esque thoughts again, and it's like very exciting to me because it's like, yeah, hope isn't lost about my dream of being a game designer just because I overworked myself at university. And I had like it was in the middle of the night, so I did not start this project because it was like 2 a.m. and I needed to sleep. But I had an itching. I was like, I need to find my textbook. It's a specific textbook. So like that's the thing. Like I did talk some game design in last week's training chit chat, which was the accessibility one. But I said like I'm not gonna do like an essay I did like how I did in like university for stuff where I'm like out here looking for like sources. I'm just gonna talk about general concept we talked about in school. It's not gonna be like with sources and stuff. In this case, I want to use one of my textbooks from university. It's called Game Design, A Book of Lenses, I'm pretty sure, and by Jesse Schell. I think I have the 3rd or 4th edition, I can't remember. I had the one which was the newest one when I started studying in 2021. But it has a bunch of chapters of like basic concepts of game design, and obviously not everything is applicable to every type of game, so there's a lot of stuff in there I wouldn't use. But I'm thinking about stuff like goals and motivation and like and stuff like that, and I would really like to look at those aspects of Star Stable from a game design perspective using Jesse Schell's lenses, the way we did when I started at university. Like in some of that's like the literal first class I took, we had that book as our course literature, and it's one of very few pieces of course literature I bought physically to have because it was very impactful. And me and my friends, we swear by Jesse Schell. He's an amazing source, mostly because he talks about so many things very broadly, very basically. So if you ever need to you're missing just one source for a paper, you just need one more source because there's like a minimum of sources you need and you're struggling, you can always find something. Jesse Schell said it, I promise. Or said he wrote it. You can do it, I promise. But also because he talks about a lot of things, and it is in the very broad, like introductory sense. So it wouldn't be so specific to someone who studied game design that it wouldn't be possible for an outsider to like follow what I'm saying. I don't think, because it was the first piece of course literature I had at university. It's supposed to be an introductory level to game design, and I think it's a great place to start. So I would kind of just look at those and start analyzing Star Stable, and I think it would be a very big project, and it would probably take me 2, 3, maybe even 4 months to do. And I probably had to wait until after Christmas and New Year's because it's gonna get hectic. Just because like we are hosting Christmas, which we do every year. My parents are, but I did also talk about when I did my at the beginning of summer when I dropped out. I talked about how I moved back home. But we live on a farm. It's a huge house. It's I'm trying to do quick math. It's a 6-bedroom house. Yeah, 6 bedrooms. But only 1 bathroom. Which should tell you something about the age of the house. But yeah, so there's space for anyone to like stay the night if they need to. My older siblings are probably coming. And like maybe bringing like my older sister, probably bringing her boyfriend. They're bringing their dog. My grandma is gonna be coming. My grandpa, my uncle, and the whole family. Not my younger brother. I just realized my younger brother is moving on Sunday. On Sunday! It's just a few days away. My brother, the one who's a chef, he got hired to work at in the restaurant of a ski resort up in the north of Sweden. So he's gonna be moving up. He's gonna be like living on site. Like they hired him and like they own the place where he's gonna live, and with other people who are also like working at the restaurants. So yeah, he's gonna be working at a ski resort for a couple of months. So he won't be home for Christmas. It's gonna be my first Christmas without my younger brother since he was born. That's crazy. I've never celebrated Christmas without him. I just realized that. This is not supposed to be in this video, but I just had a realization, like, oh, my younger brother is moving. I will celebrate Christmas with him for the first time in 19 years. That's crazy. He's gonna be working on Christmas, I'm pretty sure. At a ski resort. That's crazy. That's not what we're supposed to talk about. We didn't have a theme, but that was definitely not it. Yeah, no. It's gonna be hectic, but there's gonna be a lot of cleaning. Obviously, we have the horses. There's going to be a lot of cooking, especially now when my brother, the chef, is not gonna be home. He's been responsible for Christmas cooking for a long while. I think I wrote in last year's Christmas post on Instagram that my brother, who at the time he was still in culinary school, or he was still like studying to become a chef, I wrote like my brother, who's like 6 months away from being a full-fledged chef, is ruling the kitchen with an iron fist. So unless I feel like getting a scolding that would make Gordon Ramsay proud, I will stay out of his way. And I mean, at least we won't have that, but I'm gonna have a stressed out mother in the kitchen. And I can't cook to save my life, so that's gonna be interesting. But you know, Christmas food is so nice. Like, it's nice the first 3 times you eat it, so by Christmas you're already tired of it. But you know, there's gonna be Jansson, there's gonna be pickled herring, is that how you say it in English? It's the fish in 3 flavors. It's gonna be the basic one, it's gonna be the onion one, and it's going to be the mustard one. There's going to be like little sausages and meatballs. Root beet salad, meatballs, Jansson, omelette. And my younger brother's not gonna be home, so I don't think I'm pretty sure we're gonna get spinach omelette. Because in my family we usually do shrimp omelette, or shrimp. But my younger brother prefers the shrimp one. But I like the shrimp one, but I love omelette with spinach. Like with the spinach stew on top. It's stew. Like that. Root beet salad, meatballs, Jansson, omelette with spinach stew, and kalvsylta. If I get that, and a nice, tangy, and like, how do you say? I don't know. It's not supposed to be smooth. Mustard. really don't know how to say the opposite of like smooth when it comes to mustard. But like you need a rich, tangy, not smooth mustard for Christmas. It's a requirement. And like there's gonna be a Christmas ham. There's going to be doppegrytan, which is when you cook the ham, you save like the pot it's been cooking in with like the liquids, and then you have bread that you dip in. We can have honestly, if you're interested, I did last year do like a winter video talking about Lucia, which is a Swedish like winter Christmas celebration on the 13th. I could talk about like Swedish Christmas Eve if you want. That's a good idea. I should write that down in my video idea list. But oh yeah, I haven't had Christmas food yet this year. Or I maybe did in January if we had leftovers, but that would be a week. I'm not sure if I've had Christmas food this year. I mean, I've had Easter food and they're pretty much the same thing. But I haven't had Christmas food this year. I'm gonna say at least in over 6 months, way over 6 months. So I'm very, very excited about Christmas food. I will not be excited for Christmas food on Christmas because I'm gonna have eaten too much of it already, and I know I'm gonna be eating Christmas food for the entire week leading up to New Year's. But that's another point. That's just the way Christmas goes. I'm just excited. I am so all over the place. Where are we going next? We have been recording for 47 minutes. That's crazy. I have been. But it's probably not 47 minutes of video because I probably have edited out all my little breaks. What do we want to do? I want to go to Dundal. It's been a while since I went to Dundal. I can't even remember what I talked about before Christmas food. And now all I can think about is Christmas food. I went to a Christmas market on Sunday with my dad and younger brother. And it's like a small local one. It's mostly like local farmers or small local shops or like old ladies from the area who are selling stuff they've knitted or sewn. There was also like school kids there selling stuff for like a school like trip in the spring. Like they were selling like baked goods and stuff they crafted in school. In Sweden we have two subjects. One is woodworking and one is sewing, or like it's like textile working. Crafts, that's the word I'm looking for, not working. So it's like wooden craft class, and then there's wood and metal, and then there's one that's like sewing, embroidery, knitting, crocheting, stuff like that. I was supposed to go to Dundal, which is there. One class was 5th graders, and they had made these like wreaths of like, it was like, you know, on Christmas trees, like, which is fir or pine, I don't know. But we have same type of tree here, but very big. But imagine it's actually Christmas tree sized and not this sized. But you know, when you cut the tree, you get like, you know, the stump and like underneath where all the pine needles are, and that was like chopped up into tiny little like slivers, and they were glued together into like a wreath, and they like decorated it with like pine cones and ribbons and stuff, and it was very cute. We bought one of those. And then it was also 8th graders, and they were selling stuff. They like Christmas tree ornaments that were crocheted, and I bought one, and it's like a little tiny stocking, and it's so cute, and I like it is functional, and I realized like it's the perfect size to put like cat treats in. And like now Sephi or Zephyr, my cat, now he can have his own stocking. That was not intentional, but like he can have a stocking now. I can put his little treats in it. I can put no, I should not. His favorite treats is freeze-dried chicken. We have to keep that in a, like the bag, in a separate bag, like in a special cupboard, because he gets like he's so obsessed with those, he will chew through the bag. And I realized like I can't put those in because then he's gonna chew through the stocking. I'm gonna have to put his normal treats that he's not as obsessed with, or he's gonna eat it, and it's yarn, which is not good for little kitty cats. It's not good for them to eat string and stuff like that. Can do loads of damage on their intestines. So it can be very expensive vet bill. We don't need that on Christmas. But I realized that, and I also bought from the 8th graders, because both the 5th graders and 8th graders were selling like baked goods and stuff they'd made, so kind of like bake sale stuff. And my dad bought like homemade candy and stuff from the 5th graders, but I bought from the 8th graders. They had made saffron white chocolate chip cookies, and like they are like some of the tastiest cookies I've ever eaten. And I'm about to Google saffron white chocolate chip cookie recipes because they were so good. So good. I only had one plate left when I got the table and I bought it, and so they had like a big pack, but it was like $2. They were over like, I think they wanted like 20 kronor for it, which is like $2 US. It's less than $2 US. And I don't know how many cookies I got, but I've eaten a bunch and I still have like 5 left. And it's like one of the best things I've had. They're so good. Saffron and white chocolate. Who could have thunk that it's that good? But I have never made chocolate chip cookies. Maybe I should. Chocolate chip cookie is not a very common type of cookie in Sweden, though. I should probably point that out. It's common in stores, but not like as a home-baked good, I don't feel like. I don't think I've ever had home-baked chocolate chip cookies. That probably sounds like a crime to some people, but they've probably never had homemade raspberry caves or vanilla dreams or homemade. I'm trying to think of the names of it. I know the cookies, I just don't know their names or their real names. Like, we will change names for stuff based on like who in the family loves them. So like my grandma has these cookies she makes that looks like a cluster of roses in different colors, and I'm not gonna say what we call them because I don't know the real name. I only know what we call them because one of my cousins loves those cookies. So they have always been like, and he's older than me by quite a lot, like he has a kid, like, because my entire life we've always called them like his name and the cookies because those are the cookies he loves. And then there are other cookies that it's actually a recipe from my parents' neighbor, like his mom, who like she has sadly passed away, but she was like over 90 years old, because like the neighbors are obviously like adults. They're older than my parents, so obviously his mother would have been very old, but like she had this cookie recipe, and she was Norwegian, so there's a chance these cookies come from Norway. I don't know, but she had these cookies with like chopped nuts and like chopped chocolate. So I guess like this is the closest you get to chocolate chip cookies, but it's not a chocolate chip cookie. It's more like a biscotti in the texture. I don't know. It doesn't sound very Norwegian, but who knows? Like chopped nuts, almonds, chopped dark chocolate, very thick, but then like sliced almost like a biscotti, and it's kind of has almost, not exactly, it's more crumbly than a biscotti, but still like not a chocolate chip cookie texture. And those are named after my younger brother because he was obsessed with them. Like she renamed them after my younger brother because he is just so obsessed with them. And I also don't know the real name, so like I can't Google these recipes because they're just my younger brother's name's cookies. I'm trying to think if I have a cookie. I would say it's Vanilla Dreams, but I would also say because I'm the only one in the family who bakes Vanilla Dreams, and I do it like maybe once every 5 years, because whenever I do, the entire house gets very upset with me. Because when you make Vanilla Dream cookies, you use something called deer salt. Don't ask me why it's called deer salt. I don't know. And you use the tiniest bit of it. It's like it's such a small amount. It's like half. I'm trying to think of what the English name of this measurement. It's kryddmått in Swedish. It's the tiniest, the teeny, like itty bitty measuring cup. That's like so tiny, like the tip of your little finger won't fit into the measuring cup. And I think it's like half one of those. And that's for an entire batch of cookies, and it's a big batch of cookies. And when you're baking these, when they're in the oven, the entire house is gonna smell like it is filled to the brim with salt. Your eyes are gonna water up. It's not a nice experience. So my family gets very mad at me when I make them, but I have always been obsessed with vanilla dream cookies. And I'm the only one in the family who makes them. And my grandfather was is patisserie, the way you the word in English, I'm pretty sure. So not a baker, he was the one who like, he can bake, but he make, pastries. I think that's a patisserie. So he make like pastries or like the fancy decorations on like cakes. And stuff like that. So yeah, my grandpa's a patisserie by trade, so he can do them. He just doesn't do them, especially not. He's super old, so like he doesn't make anything anymore. He's in a wheelchair. But when I was younger, he baked a lot, and he worked at a bakery. But yeah, I'm gonna say if I don't have a cookie named after me, I'm gonna say that the Vanilla Dreams are my cookies now. And we're almost at an hour of recording. Should we do these races and then like let that be it? So we need to figure out like the last thing to talk about. I was gonna like talk about like how it's so dark and like depressing this time of year, but like this has cheered me up just sitting here talking to you. I was gonna record this video yesterday and then I never did because I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna make it about, and then I was like, maybe I should make another type of video. Like I was considering making maybe like how I edit my photos video. I do a little bit of editing on like my Instagram posts, and I also obviously like how I edit my thumbnails maybe, and that could be a video. But then I was like, nah, I don't feel like it. And then I today I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna like, this is gonna be the last video before December. We can start the winter theme. We had snow today. I am very tired. I have slept poorly the last couple of days. And it's also very dark and everything is just very gloomy and it's muddy. I have bought most of my Christmas gifts already, and they arrived with the mail today. So I drove into town to the post office to pick up my packages. So I'm waiting for one more package, and then I have only like one more person to shop for, maybe two. I forgot about Grandma. Okay, I need to. I just realized I haven't bought anything for Grandma, so I have at least two people to shop for. Left, but most people are done. And I just need to wrap it. But I have checked that like everything I ordered was like in the box and stuff like that. So that is going to be, or that was exciting. So now like I'm very calm about winter because I'm the type of person that accidentally do everything last minute. So I usually like do my Christmas shopping very late, but I've bought most people's Christmas presents, and I'm very excited about that. I was a weird kid growing up. I didn't like Christmas because I got gifts. I liked Christmas because I got to give other people gifts. I'm not huge on receiving gifts, actually. I'm not a huge fan of that. I think it's my trust issues. Like, we don't need to dissect my trust issues here and today. And obviously we're out of time. It's pretty much exactly 1 hour now on my timer. Because because I did remember to set one today. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. It's very fun and chill. Okay, I will not be standing here. This is not going well. Let's hang out here by this tree. Oh, we can pick the bee balm. Oh yeah, it's because the bee balm. But yeah, huge thank you for watching this video. Obviously, this is a very random one. It wasn't planned, and it was, you know, just chill because it's tired November. I need some joy in my life. These are fun to make. I just get to talk about anything and everything because, as I did say in my very first video, I am a yapper. So this is always fun to make. Don't forget to let me know what you are doing when watching videos like this. Are you just watching them, or are you training your horses, or you know, don't tell me anything too personal, but you can be like, yeah, I do my homework while listening to these, or I clean my room, or maybe like I used to do, like do the dishes, because I think it's fun to learn about other people. And yeah, also let me know how's your Christmas shopping doing. Are you doing Christmas shopping? Are you celebrating Christmas? Obviously, if you're not celebrating Christmas or any other holiday where you give people gifts, then I understand if you're not buying Christmas gifts, but I've got a lot of stuff out of the way, which is very nice. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you do, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. I appreciate everyone who has done so very much. Yeah, also don't forget to follow me on Instagram. I'm gonna do a second little shout out if you want to see more posts from me, or if you want to see my posts from the game, if you want to see what I post on my stories, like about my life, what the books I'm reading, my pets, whatever. I've not been super active on my stories lately. I think it's the mental health with the season, but I'm gonna try and get back into it. So yeah, if you want to see more of that, I'm Kaiser Dragonroad on Instagram as well, and you can also find it linked below in the description box. So yeah, thank you once again so much for watching, and I guess I'll talk to you soon. Bye bye!